How to master selling on the phone. In this video, which has been taken from the salesman.org archives, you're gonna learn mastering selling on the phone. You're gonna learn why mastering selling on the phone comes down to one simple formula and the simple reason why you must close every single person that you speak to, if it's on the phone, email, or anywhere else as well. So the successful, modern phone selling formula, and don't take for granted how simple this is. Phone calls equals meetings equals qualified partners equals sales. Because you can boil down B2B sales. You can boil it down 9 times out of 10 to this. If your activities day to day are not based around getting more meetings, which leads to more qualified partners, which leads to sales, you're doing it wrong. If you're just going around fancy arsing, commenting on Twitter posts or creating content that no one views and no one cares about, or whatever nonsense people are doing, if you're not generating meetings from every activity, you're doing it wrong. Every single day, no matter what, where I'm creating new content, by interviewing on the Salesman podcast, or I'm speaking on stage at a sales conference, I'm trying to book appointments with individuals, people who could become qualified partners, which could then turn into sales. Everything that I do is focused around generating meetings. When you focus on this simple process, you're going to start to avoid the peaks and valleys that most salespeople go through. These ups and downs are killers for your morale, and they do nothing other than stress you out and cause your sales manager to get on your back. And I've experienced that, and it was a horrible experience. That ruined the last sales job that I had in medical device sales. So even if you have a successful week, an incredible month, if you smash your target and you have an amazing year, you should never stop prospecting and hunting on the phone. It's one of the biggest mistakes that sales professionals make when they convince themselves that perhaps they've got enough potential partners in their pipelines for the next few weeks, so they'll stop their hunting efforts, that they can hit their sales targets by just closing a few big accounts that they've got inroads into. Don't be complacent. You need to hunt consistently, constantly, every single day to have legend level sales success. This is the difference between a champion and an amateur. So an amateur trains when they feel like. If they're a bit tired, they don't bother going to the gym. If they've got a wedding on at the weekend, then they don't compete. And they go and have a few drinks afterwards because it's an occasion. Professionals, which is what you are, go all in every day. They get their head down no matter how ill they're feeling. And they do it over the course of months and years rather than just 1 or 2 weekends a year. They end up leaps and bounds ahead of any amateur that started off competing with them. And finally, for this video, to give you one last kick in the ass for motivation to start leveraging modern phone selling, there are only 4 ways to double your income. And this is a goal that hopefully you have and every member of the sales school should have. If you're earning less than $1 million a year in commissions, you should be striving towards doubling your revenue every year until you get to that point, if not beyond it. So let's quickly run through each of these, and this will hopefully drive home the importance of knowing how many calls you need to make to crush your sales targets. So, number 1, we could double the number of calls, and this is often difficult or even impossible. Whilst it seems like the most obvious way to go about doubling your income is just doubling the number of daily calls, well, this isn't always the answer. Of course, this is going to work until a certain point, but then you're not going to have enough hours during the day. It doesn't mean just doubling the number of calls, it means doubling the number of calls with the same amount of preparation that you're doing right now. It doesn't just mean randomly blasting the marketplace with cold calls when your success so far has come from warm calling or hot calling, which we're going to talk about in the next video, pre-qualified accounts. Number 2, we could just get more meetings. Again, possible, but difficult. This sounds very simple as well. Just convert more of your outreach into meetings to qualify the buyer. The issue here, though, is if you are already doing your hunting correctly, you are already pre-qualifying your potential partners before the call's even made, and so to double the meetings that you're getting, you're going to have to lower your success criteria of what you're asking for. There's also a strategic element to this as well. So if you get better on the phone, you may be able to increase the amount of meetings you get, but then again, once you get to a certain point of proficiency on the phone, it's going to be very difficult to double this increase in performance over and over. Number 3, we can just close more deals, and there's a real potential here. So similarly with the meetings, it's one thing to say, I'm just going to close more deals this month. But if you're doing all the right steps, if you're qualifying your partners, if you're only speaking to people on the phone who have a want or a need in your product or service, it's going to be very difficult to close more of them without using some kind of weird manipulation tactic that never works over the long run. Now, there is the potential to add more value throughout the whole process, which might lead to more deals being done. But another way of looking at this, perhaps a more effective way that might help you out, is number 4, we want to generate more money per sale, and we have a winner. This is the one, this is what we should be focused on. This is a huge needle mover and something that is certainly worth considering. You can only double the amount of calls that you're making a couple of times if you're really working hard. You can only double the percentage of those calls that turn into meetings perhaps once or twice. You can only double the number of deals that you're going to close from those phone calls, maybe not even double them. If you're doing everything right, there's going to be a natural, organic closing rate at a certain point if you've got any sales skill whatsoever. If you've got an efficient sales process, it can be difficult. But by increasing the deal size, by what we're going to discuss in this and all the other content here in the Sales School, it's going to be easy to smash your target and make a real impact in the marketplace. When you really want to take things to the next level, the best way to do this, hunt bigger companies, bigger accounts, and really become a strategic, legendary advisor or partner so that you can generate far more dollar per sale than anyone else in your organization. This is clearly demonstrated with sales of the Sales School. So although I proactively sell to individuals, maybe even you watching this, because that's who I really care about, we also sell to sales management as well. So this isn't entirely accurate, but it's a round number that's hopefully useful for this video. If after all of our costs and overheads for running the site and all that stuff, and all our staffing and production costs, say we earn, say $500 per individual that signs up for 12 months, well, we can easily get 20 times that amount of revenue by selling to sales managers who bring on 10 of their sales reps at a time. So I'd still be closing the same number of deals if I went that route, but I would be earning 20 times the amount of cash. This is where being skillful on the phone and everything else that you're going to learn in this workshop really comes into play. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click subscribe, leave a comment below what you thought about the video and the content itself, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.